All right, Daniel's ready. Okay. Um, we are recording. We're live. Thanks everybody for coming. This is the uh, Hacking Barriers to Entry scholarship program put on together with PGH, Women in Tech Pittsburgh, the Center on Interracial Relationships, Treehouse Coding Platform, and Neighborhood Allies. So we want to say a huge thanks to those folks for being a part of this program. It's been a really long and fulfilling journey, and I know every single speaker that's presenting today has put in a ton of hard work, and so we're super excited to share how fabulous they are with you. And before we start, I want to introduce my co-host Shani, who's here.
Hello. I love how there's like sirens and dogs barking. Like
Oh, sorry.
this is 100% the life we live now. We're still relegated to Zoom, but hopefully, soon we will be back in the real world. So it's great to be with everybody for the very last time. But of course, we are accessible and available to Yin's guys whenever you need us. So just email me.
Yes, heck yeah. Okay, so first up, we have Courtney Davenport, and I'm going to get a presentation ready. Courtney, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let me share my screen. Yes, okay. 1 second. All right, can everyone see this?
Okay. Yep.
All right, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I am Courtney Davenport. If you can go to the next slide, please. So about me, I'm a software developer in training, currently focused on learning Python. I am a full-time worker at BNY Mellon in a non-tech role. And then I'm also studying part-time to get my master's in public administration at the University of Pittsburgh. Next slide, please. So this is the agenda of what I'll go through. So my favorite things about the Hacking Barriers program, the most impactful soft skill learned, some of the projects I've done, some of the software and tech tools I've learned, some of my challenges, and then contact information. Next slide, please. So some of my favorite things about the program was accountability, representation, and connection. So knowing that there are other people going through the program at the same time as me, also having the same struggles and everything, just having people going through the same thing and having that connection really helped. Next slide, please. So the most impactful soft skill I learned was salary negotiation. So these are some of the tips that we learned in that program. So company health, so that's looking at things like financial wealth. Are they in a good financial standing? Are they hiring a lot of people? Are they laying a lot of people off? Market research, so looking to see what the going rate for the role that you're doing, so knowing what a good salary is for that role. Practicing, so making sure that you're going through what your speech, what you're going to say and stuff like that, because practice makes perfect, Express flexibility, so going in and letting them know that you're willing to negotiate and that you're not very stuck per se. And then also making sure that you're highlighting your skills, because you want to be able to sell yourself and let them know like what you have to offer is worth the money that you're asking for. Next slide, please. So some recent projects. Next slide. So the first project I had to do was a number guessing game. This kind of gives an overview. So a random number would populate and then the player has to guess what that number is. At the bottom, relevant knowledge that I needed for this was to import libraries, if, else, elif, while loops, list, and catching exceptions. Next. So when doing this, you could either do achieved or exceed expectations. So I went for the exceed. Right now, the video is going through what the program actually does. So I join the game, say my name, and then guess a number. And the program would tell me if I was too high or too low. And then if I did something like put a letter in, it would tell me like, oh, that's not a number, and then allow me to guess again. Next slide, please. So some of the knowledge, so if, else, then elif. So this guides the program through action steps. So it's like, if it meets this criteria, these are the steps I want you to do. If it doesn't meet the first one, then go to the second one and third and so on. So the way I use this is for the exceed expectations requirements. So it informs if you're out of range and tells you to guess higher or lower. A while loop, it guides the program action steps as long as the criteria is met. So I use this as long as the player was guessing the wrong number, it continued to tell them like how they had to guess to get towards the number. And then catching exceptions. So this helps the program runs without errors. So this came into play if somebody puts in a letter that's not a number. So then if they did that and I didn't use the catching exceptions, the program would crash. Next slide, please. So the second project I did was a basketball stats tool. So relevant knowledge for this was Dunder Main, creating functions, a for loop, and dictionaries, along with tasks that I had to use for project one. Next slide, please. So this is also going through what the second project was. I went for exceed expectations for this as well. So the main menu opens and you can either choose to display stats or quit the program. And then after that, you can choose which team that you want to see the stats for, and it tells all the details. And it continues to ask you until you say that you want to quit the program. Next slide, please. So Dunder Main, it prevents automatic execution of the file when you're importing it. So I use this to call the functions that I wanted to whenever I called the program. Creating functions. So it's a reusable block of code. So I used this to clean the data, which they wanted us to do. So this means turning the numbers into integers and separating the players from inexperienced to experienced and so on. And then a for loop goes through the list, so it's iterable. So for this example, I wanted the program to go through the players' copy list for each player and then separate them based on their experience. Next slide, please. So software and tech tools I've learned through the program: GitHub, Treehouse Workspace, Trello, Discord, Slack, and Visual Studio Code. It shows kind of like my knowledge based on how full the circle is. So I definitely want to continue to learn and improve on these skills and tools. Next slide, please. So some challenges. The first challenge is getting the pieces to fit together. So going and watching the videos, like it makes sense, but then going to actually do it myself, I'm like, I wasn't sure exactly how all the pieces fit together, but using pseudocode really helped to be able to write out, to know exactly what I feel like the steps should be, and then create the code to do those steps. Another challenge that I had was time management. And to improve on that, I set realistic goals. So knowing what was possible for me to complete in a day, and then also just managing my time and make sure that I'm not committing too much time and not focusing on other things. Next slide. And this is me. This is my GitHub and my email.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
Woo! Sorry, I'm probably gonna be like the woo girl for all of this. My bad.
That deserves a lot of woos. That was great.
Thank you.
Amazing. Let's see who's next. Okay, we have Sydney up next.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. So hello, a bit nervous here. Um, my name is Sydney Gandy. It's very nice to see everybody again. Nice meeting up with everybody. I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to take part in the Hacking Barriers program. I took the Python course so I could figure out backend stuff, putting things together, and I plan on learning more things in the future. So this was a really great introduction for me, really good for like helping with not only just like the technical aspect, but like the emotional aspect, like having Liana come in to speak about what it's like being a woman of color in the workplace, speaking on imposter syndrome and what have you. Like I really appreciate that it focuses on not only the technical aspect, but also the mental and emotional aspect as well. That's very important to me, and that was probably like one of my favorite parts of that because it can often be overlooked. We learned how to use things like Discord and Trello. It was very good for keeping us on track, very good for keeping in contact. We got set up with mentors. It was just really fantastic overall, and it made everything so much easier to, like, if you needed help, to reach out. And not only that, but they also had a Slack channel on Treehouse, so if you ever got stuck, there were so many resources you could use in order to, like, you know, keep up with your studies. So it was very helpful, and I greatly appreciate that. For my presentation, I have a project that is not finished, but it's definitely good enough to be showing people. I kind of took what I learned from Treehouse, and I just kind of ran in another direction with it. So it's not something that they specifically taught us how to build in Treehouse, but it's like the foundation is there. And I used Pygame to create something pretty cool. I gotta share the screen to show it though. Okay, let's see. Windows PowerShell. Okay, so what I do pretty much is I am taking this is just my Windows shell basically, and this was a pretty big learning curve for me because I didn't even know how to install Pygame. Like I didn't know how to install libraries even at first, but I used Atom to do the editing, and I used I'm just using the shell to run it, and I did a lot of back and forth with Photoshop. And if to provide backstory on this, it's a bit weird. Basically, me and my brother were just screwing around one day and joking around, and you may or may not have seen it. It's Lil Nas X's Montero music video. And yeah, and if you haven't, basically the premise we took from that is him sliding down a stripper pole to the underworld, and I made a mini game based on that, and I'll show you how it looks. It also involves, it's kind of like a troll in a way, because there was that recent lawsuit for his shoes with Nike, so it's kind of like a parody on that. Can everybody see this? Basically,
Yep.
your job is just to slide down the pole and then not get hit by the Nike lawsuit papers. And this is what I made in my spare time. Basically, I still have to add things like collision, like hit boxes, so that it can actually like hit the player and then take off health points and whatnot. But I got a lot of the groundwork done. I did all of the artwork myself in Photoshop. Yeah, I just went back and forth between different tutorials. You can move left and right. I just have to figure out the last little bits, and it's all good to go. That's pretty much my project. I also plan to add a game over screen, and then it'll show you your highest score. Like it'll save that information.
Hey, Sydney,
So,
did you run the game?
yeah.
Okay, I don't think it's actually running in this screen, so we're getting the explanation of it from you, but it is not actually
Oh, okay. Let me see if
Running.
I can. One moment. Let's see. Okay,
Because
I'm
now
gonna
I'm
try
like
and
super
share.
excited. I'm like
Yeah, I'm
gonna
gonna.
need to see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to screen share. I'm gonna stop screen share for a second and then try it specifically with that window. Okay, can everybody see it?
Wow,
It's gonna
yeah.
Oh my God!
it acts a bit buggy when it's like laggy like that, but here we go. There we go. So when I tap left and right, it does like move. There's like animations for the hair. I also had an in-between animation that I plan on adding so that he actually spins on the pole when you go in different directions. And this is what I have so far. I'm pretty proud of the results.
This is
I'm very happy.
amazing.
That's really awesome,
you.
Sydney.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Lots of this was a passion project, so I'm very happy with how it's turning out so far.
I passionately want to play this.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you once it's all good to go. Like even in my spare time, I just find myself just idly clicking around this, even though it doesn't actually like connect yet. I'm very, very happy with those results and very thankful to the program for helping me with like figuring out that this was possible. So yeah, thank you all. I really appreciate it.
Woo! Nice job, Sydney.
I was gonna say
Thank
we're gonna have
you.
to get you some interviews at the gaming companies in Pittsburgh because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're just gonna want to buy that. So
Oh, that would be fantastic.
I was gonna say you might have an exit strategy before you even begin. So that's the real way to do tech, right?
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I'm all for that. Oh, I forgot the email. I'll just drop that in chat.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to like build out a place where we can showcase all your work on our site so people can reach out to you too. That would be awesome. Thank you, Sydney. That was amazing.
No, thank you.
Okay, next up is Mia.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to
Hey.
see everybody again. So, my name is Mia Crow. I am a budding UX designer here in Pittsburgh, and I work for the Pittsburgh Public Schools. So it was really exciting to be involved in this program because, like, I'm 50, and to be able to think about starting over in a new career and to have y'all come in and bring people who are just like me to be able to experience something like this. I'm truly honored and appreciate y'all for that. I'll have to screen share if you don't mind. Okay, so like I said, I'm Mia, and let's see. Oops, sorry about that. And I'm a budding UX designer, passionate about creating design solutions and that everyone can relate to. So a couple things about hacking the barriers. I love the program. I love the possibility of being able to do things that, I never thought that I could, and for y'all coming in and helping me to help others after this. So I really, like I said, appreciate the opportunity. Some of the skills that I learned. Wait, I need to move this. Can y'all see that too?
Yeah, we can see that.
I wonder how do I.
There's a little X in the upper right.
That right there. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. So some of the skills I learned is wireframing, iterations, user research, Adobe XD, Figma. I knew about Discord and also Slack, but Trello was one that I really learned as far as coming onto this program, and I really appreciate it because it taught me more organization. So that's some of the things I did. So my project was to redesign a t-shirt company, T-shirts by Mike or Shirts by Mike. And their challenge was to update it and make it more fresh. And they weren't able to have a website where they could feature, a t-shirt. So that was my challenge. And also to bring in more users, more customers and clients. Okay, so to start this out, let me go back. Start this out with the redesign, start with, user research. And part of the user research was to create a persona, which is a fictional character, that would represent the type of user that would use this site. And I created Jada, and it shows her goals and her needs. She's a student at Treehouse. She wants to buy things that she wants, but has to do the things that she needs. Some of her behaviors and frustrations that she goes through. And then onto her journey map, in which it represents her experience as the user when she's on the site, and her process and to eventually buying the product. And this is her journey map. So she goes through phases, what she's going to do, what she's thinking, and how she's feeling. And then the empathy map, which is a visualization used to articulate what we know about that particular user, Jada. And we write about what she would say, during the course of her day, or just thinking about what she wants to do, what she's thinking, what she does, and how she feels about anything, really just her day, her life, buying things, spending money, budgeting. So then we come to the ideation phase, which are sketches. And this is my homepage. Don't laugh at my my drawings. But so for the sketches, we were instructed to create 8 sketches for the site with different ways in which we can show what the client would want. And I said Treehouse taught us how to set a timer for 8 minutes and to just draw. And that's basically what I did. And it was a little complicated, a little hard. I had to stop and think, because I'm a thinker. But it came out, and I got the ideas out. I have pretty different ideas, so I was pretty proud of myself there. And from there, I created mobile sketches, and that was just coming with just making different designs from the website. So it was pretty easy. That the mobile sketches is just taking it from the website and putting it onto a mobile device. And from there, we created wireframes. And from the wireframes, I moved to wireframing from the site to make it more structured and to make it more functional. And with the wireframes, I took that from the sketches, but not everything, just some of my favorite things from the sketches, like, creating the navigation bar and just setting it up in a different way. It changed from each sketch that I had. So you can kind of see that I have more than just the homepage, like with the sketches. I had a lot of drawings from the sketches, so we don't want to put that on there. But, I have the homepage, the catalog page, the individual product page, and the contact page. So the whole site. And mobile wireframes, which was easy. I just took that from the site wireframes and just scaled it down to a mobile, and to show that it's more responsive and can be used as an app. And then my mock-up. So the beginning of this project, I was really nervous because I really suffer from like imposter syndrome and perfectionism. So I just didn't know where to start. I was stuck, didn't know what I wanted to do. So I started backwards and worked on the contact page, which was the easiest for me, and then moved forward from there. Did a lot of research from other t-shirt companies and just kind of put it together. I wanted to make it brighter with the yellow and the blue, or at least like comfortable, because yellow it makes you want to buy to me anyway. I also, wanted to make it to where it would show the spotlight t-shirt and then designs because the client wanted to be able to spotlight designers. I also showed, their campaign, their sale campaigns by putting banners on the t-shirts for their sales. And, it was fun. I liked it. Also created a mobile mock-up of the website, and that's it. And that's my contact. Oh, and some of the things that I really enjoyed about Hacking the Barriers was Leona Manise's part where she talked about self-care, self-help, self-love, and, just really taking the time out for yourself, because realizing that's very, very important after having 3 kids. You really need to take the time to see and do the things that you love to do. And this is one of them. So I appreciate you guys. And thank you.
Woo! I am like, oh my goodness. Oh my God. I wish I could hire everybody, but I am not there in my life yet. So give me some time and then I will get there. And then I will just be like, you get a job, you get a job, everybody gets jobs. But until then, we're going to just keep championing for you. But you're making it really easy because it's so great. Oh my God. Mia, when you said that about the color yellow, is that like you in particular, or like did you get to do some like research on like what colors make people buy? Because I feel like it is yellow for me.
Yeah, because I equate yellow with sun with just summer, and I love it. So and blue with water, that's my favorite. So everything sunny, beachy, I equate happy. So
Nice. I love it. Thank you. All right, we're gonna keep rolling.
Okay, so next up we have Rasha.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. Hi, I am Rasha. I am a Hacking Barriers UX design student, and I'm also a program manager with a local nonprofit. And I wanted to be involved with this program because I want to learn a relevant tech skill to secure an in-demand job. I am going to go through a few of my faves of the program. So the first one is how intentional and unconventional the efforts were to empower BIPOC women to learn tech. I love the fact that they designed this program around the unique needs of women, of BIPOC women. And all of the self-care and self-awareness, it was totally unexpected that the workshops that we learned, the yoga, all of those different workshops, that you would get this out of a tech boot camp. But that was one of the great things about the program. Also, the leadership. So Allison being the brainchild and making the magic happen. And then you had Gina, who was just being a boss on TV and magazines. And Shawnee, the ultimate high energy cheerleader, just making you feel like you could do anything. And I don't know if you guys remember the job position that she put out on Discord, but she actually asked if anybody wanted the deets on it. And I said, yes, I just wanted to see what the position was. And I don't think I was considering applying for it at first, but this is back in February. But I did with the encouragement of Shawnee, and also my mentors. So I started out on one track and connected with the mentor, and then I switched, connected with another mentor, but they both continue to be very encouraging. And as a result of that, I actually did apply to that job and I interviewed for it today. So hopefully that goes well. Moving past obstacles. So one of the best things about the program was the fact that it was virtual and that it was all online. One of the most challenging things about the program is that it was virtual. Everything was online. So, just not being able to be physically present um, with other members of the cohort, it helped me by having an accountability partner. Because to Neil for reaching out, and we set a time, days and time that we would connect, and even when we were not able to, for me it just kept me motivated to still try and do some work on those days and times. And even if we missed, it just kind of helped with consistency. Even if I missed, I knew, okay, this day, this time, next time, if I missed, next time I'll get to it. The changing needs was another biggie for me. I again started on one path and needed to pivot, and I feel like leadership was very supportive in helping me do that, and making me feel like it was okay to do it. Another challenge was multiple priorities. So working full time, having family, having other responsibilities and obligations. It did at one point in time become a bit much, but I would give myself grace in addition to others giving me grace, and was able to move beyond that. So with the soft skills workshops, the one that was most impactful for me was salary negotiation. And I've actually used some of those tips and tricks with my current job, which has yet to yield any change, but it's on the table. And also with the job that I applied to, or the job that any jobs I've applied to, just not being afraid to ask for those numbers, what I need. So that was extremely impactful. So new tech tools, Discord, most of them were new to me. Discord, Trello, Balsamiq, which you can use for wireframing, and Canva, which I am just kind of falling in love with Canva. I've been using it for a couple of years, mostly to do invitations, but just with doing this portfolio, doing this project, I learned so much more about it. And over the years, it's just become easier and easier to use, which is great. So my project goal, my project is creating a website because it's still in progress. My project is creating a website for a business idea that speaks to two of my favorite things, which is upcycling and thrifting. And what I've done on the front end, so I've thought a lot about the idea itself and how to actually do it. But I have some very low fidelity handwritten wireframes for the website. Excuse me. And it's just another one. So just a couple pages of the website and how I plan to build it out. And I have a perfect quote to follow up those wireframes, which perfectionism is a 20-ton shield that we lug around thinking it will protect us, when in fact it's the thing that's really preventing us from taking flight. And I've learned so much in this program. And one of the things that has been said repeatedly is, perfectionism is not the way to go. It's just not something that's very helpful. And I've been able to pick up so much and learn so much without the weight of feeling like things just have to be just right. And here is my contact info.
Woo! Oh my goodness. Congrats on interviewing as well. That's so cool. That's amazing. So are you going to try to get a developer to build your site? Are you going to be like, hey, now that there's all these developers in the room?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
That's where you got to team up. That's amazing, Rasha. Thank you so much. If you don't mind me asking, what a part of like the salary negotiation, like what skill do you think you were able to really latch on to?
Definitely knowing why I'm applying for a job, knowing what it is I need. And if it's, I remember her saying, if it's for experience and you're going to get less pay, then no, I'm going to get this experience, even though the pay may not be what I really want. Or is it for the money? So for me right now, it's for the money. And keeping that in mind, I was able to say, okay, I want this range. This is the range I'm looking for. So, and I wouldn't have done that before. I definitely wouldn't have. So, yeah.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I think that was a big game changer in my life too, is also like not waiting, but like being able to say like, hey, this is what I'm worth, and looking for opportunities that align with that and saying no to opportunities that don't, that's okay. Saying no is okay. So as much as salary, that's a part of that negotiation, I guess, is being able to hold your boundary and figure that out. So thank you so much. That's really amazing. And yeah, I'm excited to see your websites come alive. All right, let's keep moving.
That was awesome, Rasha. Thank you and good luck on your interview. So moving forward, we have Stacy Norrington. Let's see. Is Stacy on? Okay. All right, doesn't look like Stacy's here. So we'll go forward with Ronnie. Is Ronnie on? Okay, Linda Tolbert. No, Linda. Carolyn Hunter.
Hi, sorry, I just got home. I'm going to jump devices
That's okay.
really quickly. Sorry.
That's okay.
Just one moment.
Well, now that we have some time to fill, Shani, what was your favorite part of hacking barriers?
Honestly, I love getting to know everybody and learning everybody's stories, and actually like the whys of like how, what's kind of motivating you to get into tech. Just because I think it also helped check in with like why I did it too. And it's like, I don't know, that was really great to just be able to talk to everyone and know that it's, by us showing up, like by all of us showing up, we're actually going to move it in a different direction. So that was also really encouraging, I think, for me to be like, yay, we like started somewhere, and now we get to grow together. So I'm excited for everybody.
Yeah, I have to say that like everything that's been presented has gone so far beyond like our expectations. I think I can speak for both Shani and I on that. Everything has been brilliant, and we're both so impressed with how far everyone has come and everything that you've learned, and like how you've used your own creativity to build personalized projects. So it's really, really awesome. And I know sometimes like on your journey, it can feel like you haven't moved that far, but knowing you all from the beginning, you have all learned so much. And I know sometimes that imposter syndrome can stay. I still have imposter syndrome all the time, but just know that like you put in the work and it's really showing off. It's really great.
Also, like, don't forget that like development is like professional Googling. Like that's something that we have to keep in mind. That's like literally, if you don't know something, Google it, ask, like call, phone a friend. Like we have lifelines there for a reason. Nobody is expected to know everything. And so everything that you're demonstrating is like really incredible. And also like, it's not always about a presentation. Like sometimes like, this is not the everything, the work that you're doing and why you're doing it. So remember it, just to stay focused on yourself. All right, Carolyn, are you on your new device?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna turn my video on. I'm not gonna share my screen yet, but I'm gonna just read what I have here as far as my presentation. So hello, everybody. I'm Carolyn. I was doing the front end. Can everybody see me?
We can't see you now.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm a little frazzled today.
It's okay. Present however you feel comfortable. It's totally fine.
So
Definitely.
yeah. I did the tech degree track of the front end web development. I'm still in the process of most of the projects, so I only have one project to present to you today. But what I wanted to talk about the place of community in terms of the program. So that was one of my favorite things about the Hacking Barriers to Entry program, was that there was a sense of community with everyone who was in the program. I think it helps a lot of ways to have those people together, learning the same kind of in the same field. I feel like I also suffer a lot from imposter syndrome, and I also have a really hard time learning in fields where I am the only person sticking out like a sore thumb. I graduated in 2019 with my bachelor's of ceramics, and I had a really hard time learning in an environment where I was the only person that looked like me. So having everybody around and able to help, and also kind of rejoice in kind of a very friendly environment where it's easy to talk about tech, but also have those really casual conversations. And so I want to pull up the project that I had done with the profile page. I apologize.
No apologies, remember?
I say sorry a lot. It's a habit.
That's all of us. You're not the only one in that one either. So I'm always going to be like the one, the dissenter, like, don't do it. Don't apologize. Take your time. Take your space.
I'm gonna share my screen.
I have a friend who makes me Venmo her $1 every time I say sorry. Super helpful.
Right,
Yo,
so
I'm about to get rich.
This is the code. Can everybody see this? Can you see my screen?
Yep. Yeah, we can.
Okay, I'm working off an iPad, so part of the issue is that I can't see myself when I share my screen. But so this is the current code for my profile page. So the project goal was to create a profile page. Well, the code was already created, but to adjust it to customize to yourself. So here you see in line 4 how to change my name, and then add the title element. And then also here, adding the style CSS a link to the page. One of my favorite things about HTML and CSS is the relationship that they have, and how to adjust it, and kind of use the style CSS page to pretty much be a very creative way to adjust these boxes that they kind of describe. And what else did I adjust? So had to add images. I'm just gonna show you what I had created. And so this background is actually a piece that I did for my thesis show. Some of the challenges I was having was with the tools, not the tools, but the using tools to create the meet the portfolio goals and the project goals. So I was having a hard time adjusting this background, but I did manage to size it down a bit. And then also just adding an image, creating movement within the image, and then having links. And then I have a really terrible resume here so far, but this is kind of the start of my resume. And so part of creating part of the challenge for me in creating with the tech degree was just time management. I have been working out outside the entire pandemic. So part of it was just time, commitment, and having, sorry, I'm trying to jump back. There we go. I think I'm back. Okay, part of it was jumping, having to like really pace myself, in which I didn't really get into the groove of until like the last few months of the tech degree. So having to like pace myself instead of cramming. I talked to Shani a lot about just kind of working under pressure is kind of my habit. And so while I was sort of pacing myself, I felt a lot more comfortable learning the tech degree and kind of navigating it. One of the perks I think of the tech degree is the accessibility to the user. So they do a very great job of explaining accessibility in tech and doing front-end development, because the front end is very important in terms of the surface of the page and having to navigate it. That's the first thing that you see is what's actually there in front of you. And so I think that was a very good learned skill. And then the other thing is just having a pace, having a pace to the videos, so they're very like shortly cut. That's another point of accessibility. And then also having the transcribed words and the closed captioning. They really helped with following along on the video. Sometimes I get very distracted, so I don't hear something, but they have the transcripts right underneath. Tools that I used was the code validator. That was very important for me, especially somebody who makes a lot of typos. I had a very hard time with linking my CSS form to a HTML page. And I realized I just mistyped doc type. So part of it is just a really quick fix, and just like the code validator is really helpful because not only does it show you what line the error is on, but it shows you what column the typo may be in, or like what format would you could adjust to. So those are very helpful skills learned. Soft skills, I want to say, I think Leanna's decolonizing workshop was very helpful and informative, and also very healing. Just being able to talk about that. I think just thinking about like the 9 generations of trauma, and just also relating it back to like the work field and how you present yourself, but also the dignity that you should have for yourself and when your work environment. And she's just really awesome person. And then also the resume review, I had JT Grocka, and he was really very helpful in terms of adjusting my resume. And just like having a conversation about what they look for in tech interviews and tech projects, and just being very humble and being very friendly in terms of like we're all just kind of figuring it out. So that was a really good thing. Also want to thank my mentor, Christine. I think she's on here. Hey, Christine. She's just been very patient and helpful and very friendly. I was having a last minute coding issue. I was having a really hard time with the technology that I had, which became another challenge. I have a Chromebook that I use for work, but also just have available, and I have an iPad. I lost my MacBook last year, like a week in the pandemic, so it was very, very stressful times. And I have been mostly working off of my iPad in conjunction with my Chromebook. That was helpful for me, also just having that ability. But I think that is all I have. I think I'm missing something. I'm sorry. There I go again. But I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank Women in Tech Pittsburgh, Shani, Gina, and Allison for just being very, very helpful, very friendly, and just very approachable in terms of learning tech. I think for me as an arts person, I think I just have a really hard time seeing myself doing STEM things. So I think that becomes a part of the issue, but also just having the ability to kind of just break it down and make it very like palatable and relatable as well is really helpful. So I thank everyone for that and this opportunity. So moving forward, I'm going to finish it. I'm committed to finishing the tech degree. And what I want to use for it is to create my personal art website so I can start selling my work. And I've been working very hard on that. I'm hoping to have a June launch date. Of course, I have to establish a website and buy the domain, and also develop and create and structure things. But hopefully that will be in June. And also I want to use this opportunity to learn more and to use it as an education tool. So something I'm really passionate about, my job is in the nonprofit world. I do youth programming, and something I'm really passionate about is teaching kids lifestyle type of just learning, just not just like the academic learning, but also like the casual societal learning. And I usually do that in art, but I also think, especially now in a time like this, where we're all online and still just trying to figure out things as we go, because we were a lot less familiar with the internet than we thought we were. I think it'll be very helpful to have the coding aspect along with the art aspect, to have a balance of this very technical formal thing and also this very creative and fluid thing. So I like to thank everyone again, and I like to thank the cohort for being super awesome and badass. And I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I did just come home and I'm like sweaty. So
Don't apologize. Thank
but
you.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see your portfolio. Also, it's funny because like my favorite resumes are actually the ones that are just like black and white, just are like, this is what I do there, like one line. So I was like, that looks like a great resume to me. So I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But also the aspect of mentorship, of having a great mentor and then being able to now take this and perhaps mentor youth that are interested in tech. That's like actually where I started out and how I got into tech myself, was teaching block coding. So now that you have those skills, they're absolutely going to translate into any sort of like educational opportunities that that you're helping others with. So that's really awesome to hear. I think you were spot on with that. And your site looks great. I was like, I saw that flex box. I saw it. And CSS, I don't know, every day I'm like fighting with that. Like, awesome. All right, let's keep moving. Thanks,
Yeah.
Carolyn.
Thanks, Carolyn. And thanks, Christine, who's Carolyn's mentor, for joining us today. It's great to see you. Thank you for volunteering your time to be a part of our cohort.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
Okay, last but not least, We have Tanya. Are you on?
Yes, I'm just slightly kind of panicking in the background because I was like, no, it's me. And I hope I didn't just delete something while I was moving too fast.
That's okay. Take your time.
Yeah.
That might have happened. That's okay. You know what? We're fine.
Sometimes you delete entire files and have to rewrite them. And then you're like, why? Why is this life?
I'm pretty sure I might have done that, but that's okay. I have it downloaded and I can share my presentation with you if you'd like to see the original version before my hands got all like, you know, antsy. But hi, good to see you all. This has been such an adventure in so many different ways, and interacting with everyone virtually and also transitioning to Pittsburgh in lieu of this program being like a huge inspiration for my movement in general, and wanting to um, really grab change during pandemic and insert my skills into the workforce in a way that could keep me safe and keep me in a position where I felt like I was growing my management skills, as well as connecting with other women of color, specifically who also felt maybe discounted or kind of excluded inside of this type of work. And just being one to be comfortable and standing out in a lot of situations. I think that this was no exception, in calling to the challenge and wanting to be a pioneer as a Black woman in tech spaces along with my other cohorts. And so I can definitely present. I think is that what I need to go for the screen share here? Grab for the screen share. Grabbing for the screen share. With that being said, I'm going to share the desktop here. So this is me. This is me, Tennille. I started out with very interested in front end development, and I went through the Treehouse training and slowly started to realize as we were doing external training with a lot of some of our mentors that I think product management is also a strong suit for myself, being someone who has a design background, who has a project management background, and just a creative in an exterior and interior design position for so long. It kind of made sense that being able to see a bigger picture was really what I was getting at, and understanding the logic in the picture comes in from front end development. Fun things about me: I can skate, not Tony Hawk, but you know, I'm an all-around kind of girl. I explain I'm from Chicago, a native of the polar vortex, a segregated city in a way that can compare to Pittsburgh that I'm learning. But in this space, I felt that this was the best welcoming that I could have into my first steps in being in Pittsburgh. And funny, I'm a pescatarian by choice, and I love seafood. Digital nomad. I started my love for, I think, design and tech by using SketchUp programming. Through SketchUp, I started to really embrace my digital self, and the freedom that it brought me, and being able to kind of like travel around and live anywhere and have these skills really opened my ideas to accepting a little more grace in learning front end development and learning HTML and learning CSS and JavaScript. I'm really passionate about growth. I'm passionate about strategies and concepts. I'm a creative by nature, and I feel like a lot of systems usually need to be troubleshot in creative ways to meet deadlines. And so I think with those kind of out of the box strategies and understandings of the inner workings from engineering to development to product sales and more, those avenues are definitely are definitely in that mode of transportation for my career growth. And being a part of WIT has opened my eyes to being able to see the accreditation that I can get and being able to follow that avenue. Hacking barriers and me. The favorite part about hacking barriers, as I mentioned, was the environment. I've never actually physically been in a space where it was specifically for training and learning, even though this is still Zoom. This is probably the closest I've ever been to being in a setting where everyone looks like me and is striving for the same goal. And we are speaking the same language. We're not just speaking English, we're speaking tech. And so for the first time, this was a space that I felt very green in and accepted at the same time. And HTML and CSS would be the two things that I dive into and started really grabbing really quickly as far as putting sites together and understanding languages. The wellness sessions that came out of hacking barriers were exponentially needed as we were moving through pandemic and as I was changing my career path essentially into coding. There were a lot of instances where I felt, and my cohorts also felt some imposter syndrome. And I'd be lying if I didn't say, it still exists, but there is a foundation of confidence that I have now from those wellness sessions provided by Leanna in understanding how to embrace the change and how to be better at understanding the new life and outreach that I have access to through this cohort situation. Super quick, I've been extremely creative throughout my career path, starting in 2017, and just designing a lot for spaces in New York and growing into a more concentrated effort with other organizations in designing just groups in general that promoted art. And then I met WIT, which also tried to give me a platform, or not tried to, was giving me a platform to be able to sew in all of my experiences together and market myself, which is my current position as a program implementation specialist with the University of Pittsburgh. This was completely unexpected, but it's so serendipitous with my timing and programming with WIT that the exposure that I had as far as creating all of these digital spaces and web spaces and interfaces gave me not only a very visible and viable candidate vote, it got me the job. And put me in a position to really give representation as a woman of color. And so with that, I was prompted to be a part of a cultural humility study that is a part of the School of Pharmacy to which I work for. In that group, I was kind of listening to conversations, and they're real conversations from Pennsylvania representatives, commissioners, the mayor, conversations from coalition leaders in various counties of Pennsylvania. And I started to recognize a lot of the issues of lack of access to care and overdose reduction here in Pennsylvania. So the light bulb went on in a meeting one day where I was like, oh my God, I think I might have figured out my piece, my like working piece that I'm going to bring to the table to this brand new job, to which I'm still trying to figure out what my voice is. And my voice is creating this tech space, this app for recovery resources in Pennsylvania. And so with our tech and education team, and I wish I could show you all images, but I'm just not quite approved to do this just yet because I'm in it. And so I will totally share this once everything is approved by our higher ups. But I came up with the idea, inspired through Hacking Barriers, to connect tech and overdose reduction in Pennsylvania. And this is through the University of Pittsburgh Peruse program in the School of Pharmacy. And I specifically work with the Community Health Initiative. And my idea for the app is essentially to network and connect those in rural spaces of Pennsylvania. And the reality is that Wi-Fi isn't actually an option and readily available for everyone. And that's not just in Pennsylvania, but that's across the United States. By providing this app-based situation, there are data plans that can be purchased through grant dollars that are existing in a lot of coalition programming. The Recovery Resource app itself is the concept. Participants can view the model of transportation, can find a mode of transportation to get to recovery sessions, trainings, and any kind of educational event around naloxone and Narcan distribution and other recovery substance abuse disorder services. The education and training portions are all links and workshops and forums that are being hosted by variant coalitions and collaborative groups in Pennsylvania, and having them centralized in one place so everyone can access the same information and share amongst each other is one of the easiest ways to connect people that may not necessarily have access to any type of transportation or the means to leave their home just because of our pandemic situations. So this idea is now in the progress of being discussed amongst the Culture and Humility group as something that could be workable outside of our internal operations and spread into the coalitions across Pennsylvania. I can tell you there's a sketch, which I still not even sure if I can show you that, of how the layout is, but I can tell you the best things that I feel like I have used in this position are all things listed here, especially WordPress, especially Teamworks and SharePoint. Canva is used daily in a lot of our just regular meetings. On top of that, I myself have not been able to use the HTML and CSS languages because we actually have a person on staff that is currently doing that. And so I've essentially moved into the concept and user design portion of the discussion of how we could roll out this app. With that being said, we are also still looking for stakeholders to buy into the idea that the connectivity of this will be viable for further action in the coalitions. With that, these are all like just kind of things that I've been able to use on a daily. What happened? Something deleted there. And this is me. That's my experience. To date, literally, I've been in Zoom meetings about this at least 3 to 4 times today. And so I think I'm just really essentially grateful for having WIT be a platform for me to springboard into this position, to have such an incredible voice that I didn't have before, as not only a tech advisor, but someone that's conceptualizing change within an organization, from an organization. So that's my wrap. That's my spiel. Thank you very, very much. And I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you so much. I'm speechless.
Oh my
That
God.
was amazing.
Everybody, you guys killed it. Oh my goodness. And we'll continue to kill it. I'm just so excited. Like I have like goosebumps right now. Thank you so much. Wow. This has been, I mean, straight up, like we knew some of what we were doing, but like we also have been learning along this entire journey. You know, so we are also very grateful that you guys all let us be, you gave us grace to be like, okay, is this going to work? Does this not work? There are some things that don't work is what we've learned. There are some things that apparently do work, because you're literally pitching an app.
I wish I literally, the slide I deleted was like the first rough sketch before I got like everything else approved, and I was like, oh no.
That is nuts. Oh my God. I can't wait to see you up on, like, I'm just like waiting for you to be like up on like the like fireside chat, like talking like, yeah, well, it all started when Shawnee, when I would text Shawnee and be like, how do I interpolate the string? And that's
the worst weekend of my life.
Yes, we're gonna keep, Sydney, that's a great question. We are gonna keep the Discord in operation. Obviously, yeah, now you have like a whole roster of devs and UX designers.
Tanya, we got a newsletter if you want to send anything out.
Yeah. And that is my crazy dog. So
I will absolutely keep you updated in those developments. It's very exciting. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. And if you need to connect with, again, just gonna keep, bludgeoning this point, but if there are people that you want to connect with specifically, make sure you reach out to us, because we were always happy to make introductions. And yeah, we are going to keep the Discord chat going. And then hopefully, the intention is that we continue building this community out. So I think the hope is that, as we continue growing, like being able to, even having this recorded, these presentations recorded, being able to show our sponsors for this, which we can, now come out and say Verizon was who sponsored our program this year. And they made this happen with a donation through Neighborhood Allies, who managed that grant. And it was really like, I'll just be super honest with you. Like, we hit the pandemic. We were going to have like a launch party, and we were like, we're going to do events and stuff. And we kind of had education slated for later. And essentially what happened was the pandemic hit, and we were like, oh my God, what do we do? And so we all just started putting our thinking caps on and got together, and we were like, well, who needs to be seen right now? How do we make sure that women are getting opportunities, to be able to express these skills and learn them, and then come together to be able to make things happen. Oh my God, my mind is still blown. Oh my goodness. So, we have to say a big thank you to everybody who, believed in us, and for you guys believing in us to be like, all right, I'm going to go on this crazy journey with these, with these people I've never met online, and put in this work. But ultimately, this is your journey, and you guys have done such an amazing job. And I hope that you'll come back as mentors. I hope that you will share your horror stories as well as your success stories with the next group of women that are going to be in the same, place as you, being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm going to design this. I don't know how I'm going to, what do you mean develop an entire application? What do you mean 17 screens? But the reality is that it's all doable, and you guys proved it. You proved it. You're the proof. So if you could do us a big favor and fill out the mandatory exit form. That's right. It is a favor, but it's also mandatory. And of course, we really love your feedback. So we also want to hear what didn't work, why it didn't work, because that's what's going to make this better for everybody in the future. And yeah, we're gonna keep working to desegregate Pittsburgh. Woo, Ed Gainey. And really just, we're here, and we're here to stay, and we're here to change it. So I'm just so thankful and so proud of everybody. Oh my gosh, my heart. I'm speechless at this point, which is rare. So if anybody else wants to say anything, we can start dropping off, and y'all can finally live your lives without us.
I just want to give a quick thanks to all of the people who volunteered to be mentors and volunteered to do interviews and resume reviews, and people who reached out to help and just volunteer for small things, because this was a lot of work, and without you and without you all who were even just cohort scholars, like, this would not be possible. And you've given us the opportunity to continue to be able to do this for other people in the Pittsburgh community moving forward. And for that, we're extremely grateful to be able to continue this work. And like Shani said, like, we hope that you stay in touch, and we hope that you would be willing to come back and be mentors. And I don't want this to be over, but I'm so proud, and I'm grateful to know you all. And if I can help anyone with anything, any advice or jobs or anything like that, don't ever be afraid to reach out and text me or email me, and we'll always be here for you. And so I think on that note, we're gonna stop the recording too.
Yeah. So we can definitely do a final list for everybody who's still online, to just send out emails and contact information. And then of course, if you ever need letters of recommendation, or if you need to put us down as your reference for any jobs that you're applying to as well, don't forget that we are available for that. So if you ever need that, we just ask that you reach out to us to give us a heads up, so we know, to pick up a random phone call, because a lot of the times I'm like, ignore. So just make sure you stay in communication with us. And again, yeah, Discord's going to still be up. So anytime you want to hop onto there, if you ever have a coding question or a life question, you can throw it onto there. And yeah, I definitely would just love to hear your feedback. And finally as well, hopefully we'll be able to hire some of you guys to like help us build some stuff in the future too. So that's really what we're hoping to go for, is that that we keep building and expanding and make this program available to more people.
Oh, I don't know what I just did. Yes, I second everything you just said. Can you stop the recording on your end, Sean?
Oops, my bad. I have the power here.